What's up, everybody? How's it going? I hit the wrong button. I meant to roll the intro, but here we are. I guess I'll roll the intro. There we go. I was like, yeah, I need to roll the intro. It just doesn't feel right without rolling the intro. All right. Oh, Kyle's posting stuff. Kyle got his bed back. Oh, your printed part broke. No. I see UPS found your bed. That's good. I was like, wait, he sent us his S5 bed so we could do some test fitting with the solid bed mount kits. And we didn't have it, so I was like, send it in. I'll send you back a new, I'll send you back the bed mount kit for that printer. So, I don't know if you're in here. Yeah, you are. Thanks for, I think I put eccentrics on all of my Y bed plate picks for questions and both in Livestream. I would not, I wouldn't. I mean, you could if you wanted to. I feel like it'd be kind of a waste. They are pretty well spaced out. So if you guys aren't familiar with the CR10 S5, they've got, a total of 12 wheels because it's a big boy. Let me hang on. I gotta switch over here. I've got too many damn windows open. Where's my work browser? There we go. I use Edge for all my work stuff. There we go. So yeah, he's asking about eccentrics. I probably wouldn't. I feel like I've been able to adjust these to fit most things without an issue. Because they've got the one here and they got the others on the outside here. I probably wouldn't mess with it, to be completely honest with you. You know, and the wheels, like we had them here, they seemed like they were in decent shape, so I probably wouldn't mess with it. But it's your printer, you do you. Just, you know, my 2 cents. Let's see here. Where's my live chat? I'm kind of all over the place today. Let's see. I do want to mention, if you guys are on our email list, we did send out a blast about the Easy Neos. Those are live on the site, and we have the EasyBoard NeoPixel adapters. If you purchase those with the strips, they are discounted. We also sell them separately for a total of $5 with the cables and everything. So it's a plug-and-play installation. So you put NeoPixels on your EasyBoard V1. And then we also have, if you guys got the email, there's a 10% off code for the Easy Neo strips. And those right now, the regular price is $24.99. We also are going to be running a sale starting Monday. And I'm not going to divulge the details, but we've got a lot of cool stuff lined up. And there will be promotions with the Easy Neo strips. But we also have the Easy Neo strips are on sale with that coupon code if you're on our email list. If you're not on the email list and you didn't get the coupon code, then you have to wait to the sale to get discounts. So we will be doing discounts on the Easy Neos, but that email also has a code that's good through the end of August. So if you're on our email list, you got a little code in your email. So yeah, I've got them actually here. Oh, I never know if my camera is able to see it. I have to like look. But I do have the Easy Neos on here, and you can just see how bright these are, and the room's actually pretty bright. So here, let me show you if I go ahead and I wish I could move this camera, but it's on like a fixed mount. So, but let's see, will that work? Come on, Home Assistant, you can do it. Do it. Do the thing. Turn my lights off. Oh my God. Z-Wave. I like Z-Wave, but sometimes it's slow. I told it to turn it off from my panel here, and it's just taking its sweet time. I did tell it to heal the network, but that was like an hour ago. I feel like it should be done. It should be done doing its thing by now. Am I gonna have to? Anyways. They're RGB lights, but you can see here, they do have a white setting, so you can light up the whole print bed, and these are actually installed in the top extruder. They're really bright. I don't know if you guys can see how badly these are glaring, but they're quite bright. I do not recommend looking directly at them because you will see spots. But this is actually, this printer is the test machine. This actually has our EasyBoard V2 prototype in it. And I have the EasyNeos fitted on here because this is a testing machine. So this printer literally exists. Its whole life is sad because all it does is test boards and other settings. So I don't have to tear down one of my production printers. So, but the EasyBoard V2, if you guys are waiting for those, they are in production. We're just waiting on them. I also heard from my buddy Joe today that apparently the silicon shortage is going to be lasting until Q1 of 2023. 2023. It's 2021, so we're going to be dealing with silicon shortages for the next year and a half, which is insane. But we're not going to go into a Tim rant because that's nuts. I don't understand how we haven't figured this out, and I also realize my camera might need to be cleaned a little bit. I don't know why. You guys notice like the cube is like got a glowy around it. Let me try some IPA here. Let's see if that helps. Oh, that did help. Anyways, we were talking about, oh yeah, so LED strips, they are just NeoPixel compatible strips. So we have all the stuff in the firmware for multiple different boards. We've got documentation on how to hook them up. And yeah, if you guys are home automation nerds like myself, I am now trying to think of things to use them with to make little standalone Wi-Fi connected lights. So they will work with any NeoPixel libraries. So, you know, like ESP Home firmware, Tasmota, those all sport the NeoPixel protocol. So you can use them with other stuff. So if you're looking for like a hard PCB strip, I think I have one that's not on a printer. Yeah, it's right here because I was testing with the 4.2. I was testing them with the 4.2, 427 boards. But they're a hard PCB. So they're not like the flexible, like there's a little give to them. But this is a hard PCB. They're not like the cheap flexible strips that you can buy in rolls from Amazon and stuff. So, but yeah, as far as the EasyBoard V2s, we do have the parts secured to run off a decent amount of them. And we're constantly trying to get a hold of chips when they become available. But we also only have limited supply of funds. So right now prices are elevated, supply is limited. And it's just hitting us on every front, but we're trying to keep stuff rolling through in production. But it sucks. Like, and I don't want to do it. I see people ask about a pre-order. I don't like doing pre-orders unless we have stuff actually confirmed on the way, because I don't want to be one of those companies that takes your money and I don't ship a product for a year because of stuff that's outside of my control. I don't like doing business like that. The only thing we recently did a pre-order on was the adapter boards for the NeoPixel strips to get connected to the EasyBoard V1s, because I physically had the boards and all we were waiting on are cables, and we got those, and those are in stock now. So we have the strips, they're in stock, ready to ship. So yeah, look out for some sales stuff starting Monday. It's going to run for about a week. We're going to have a bunch of different promotions, a lot of bundles. Especially if you guys are like setting up an additional printer, or you got a stock machine and you want to just hit that button and add all the upgrades that we recommend and knock it all out in one fall swoop. We're going to have stuff like that. We also have added new pages onto our website. So if you're like, I need a flex plate for an Ender 3 or a CR10 or a, you know, an Ender 5, you no longer have to know what plate size you need. We have pre-set up pages with the plate size pre-selected to try to make things easier for everybody. So you can just go to the build sheet section, build sheet / flex plate section, and we've got them already selected. So you select your surface type, and if you need a magnet, you can add a magnet on. Anything else? The Chiron stuff is moving along. I'm working on the design for the Easy AVL probe mount this weekend. And yeah, we're moving along as quickly as we possibly can, given all the roadblocks and stuff that we're dealing with everything happening these days. The shitstorm never stops. I need a break. We are like 20 minutes into this. Or no, sorry, I started late. We're only like 13 minutes in, and I've been ranting for 10 of that. My apologies. Let's get into the questions, because that's what you guys are here. Derek, I appreciate the $10 for the whiskey fund. I have some Lagavulin. My wife got me some of that for my birthday, and that's some good stuff. It's definitely something I have to be in the mood for. It's not that it's bad, but it's a different taste of whiskey. It's very like, it's got a very strong wood flavor to it, which I have to be in the mood to enjoy. But when I am, it's good. It's good. It also pairs well with some cigars too, which I think I'm gonna need a cigar after this week. Anyways, I'm gonna be nice, and if you guys did not get the email for the Easy Nail Strips, here is, I'm gonna put the code in here because no one's probably gonna watch the replay. But this is the 10% off code, good through 8/31, so the end of August. So that's the 10% off code we sent out in the email, and that's good for, there's no quantity limit. So if you want to buy 5 of them, you can get 10% off 5. You want to buy 1, you get 10% off 1. Remo has to mess with Claire, doesn't? Yes, that's his existence. He is the little brother, quite literally. Mike V is asking, when are the NeoPixel LEDs going to ship? I got the adapter for it. Those are shipping like normal products. We have them. If you want to post your order number in the chat, I can see. Maybe it was split. If you ordered it on the same order, then they all should have shipped together. But if they didn't, just drop us a line. If you want to post the order number, I can take a look at it when I'm done here with the stream and see what happened. Maybe someone forgot to put something in a box, and then I'll go talk to the peoples out in the shop. So let's see. Yeah, let me see. I'll check Mike. Let's see. What happened with Mike? What did Mike order? Mike ordered the power module and the 220. Let's see. What is the shipping weight on that? 9.6 ounces. That sounds like the strip might have been in there. I'll have them check. Either way, I'll make a ticket and follow up after the stream. So usually if things are missing from boxes, especially a larger item, you can look at the weight and see. But we also record all of our packaging so I can see what happened. Maybe the post office messed it up, because they never do that. The post office is great. They always get packages there on time and don't damage anything. Let's see. I'm not cynical at all. All right. I'm scrolling back up and seeing if there's any questions. I see there's chatter here. I'm scrolling down and seeing if there's any questions amongst the chatter. Let's see. There's not that many questions. I haven't hit one yet. Here we go. Kyle Fegley, Viper GTSR. What kind of insulation do you think I should put on my F5 bed with the aluminum frame to keep it from acting like a heat sink? I wouldn't be overly concerned with it, but I have used high temp, like pipe wrap insulation. A lot of the insulations are good to up to 150 to even 200 C. Just go to your local hardware store. It's pipe wrap. It usually comes in about 1.5 to 2 inch widths. And on the package, it will tell you what they're good up to, because they are designed, some of them are designed for wrapping hot water pipes, which get quite hot. I've used that many times. You just, keep putting strips on until you cover the whole thing. It's never a bad idea to insulate the bottom of your bed. The only thing to be careful for is if you get one that's like foil backed and it's not just the foam that's non-conductive. You can use the foil backed stuff. Just make sure when you get near power wires that you are cutting away from it so it doesn't actually conduct and energize that aluminum foil. So I've used both foil backed ones and non-foil backed ones. They both work great. And having the insulation on there is good because it's going to keep the heat in the plate instead of it dumping all the heat out into your room on the bottom. You're still gonna have the top of the plate, which is where you're printing on, but you're cutting down how much is actually getting wasted by having all that surface area exposed with no insulation on it. So let me see here. I'm looking for questions. How do you change the probe amounts on the TH3D firmware? That would be the Easy ABL points setting. I believe that's what we call it. I've looked at it so many times. It's just I know where to go in the firmware and change it. I believe it's Easy ABL points. I'm looking it up. Yeah, Easy ABL points. By default, it's set to 3. Stick to odd numbers, so do 3, 5, 7. Wouldn't recommend going over 7, and it's just overkill because that setting is going to be that number times itself. So 3 is going to be 9 points, 5 is going to be 25, and so on and so forth. So just keep that in mind. Let's see. Julio is asking about the new update to the Easy Pi. I think I'm buying another one to update the current one. Will this allow me to access my printer's remote from my phone? So right now, the Easy Pi image that we're shipping with has the Spaghetti Detective plugin pre-installed in it. And when we build the image for those Pis, they actually get built on a regular computer, so we can have a clean image, so that when we image the Pis, they all have a fresh image that's unique to each specific board as it's fired up. The problem is, because of the way Spaghetti Detective has their plugin initialized, is that because we're installing the plugin in a environment on a computer, it doesn't see that we're on a Raspberry Pi, so it doesn't install the Pi camera module. So what was happening is some people were getting low frame rate with the Spaghetti Detective remote access system, and the way to fix that is just to uninstall the plugin and reinstall it. Going forward, once we push out the new Easy Pi image update, it just will not have the Spaghetti Detective plugin pre-installed. That's going to be the only change. We'll probably update the other plugins at that time, but really that's the only thing that's going to change. So it was just something that was reported to us from the Spaghetti Detective team. They're like, oh yeah, it's not installing this module because you're building it on a computer. So, but yeah, we made a post about that. So, but the Spaghetti Detective is actually really cool. If you buy an Easy Pi kit, there's actually a card in the box that gives you a very, very good discount off of their service. They have, you can use that on one printer for free with limited AI detection hours. The remote access is free up to one printer. I think it's like $5 a month per printer after that. And they also have like bulk packages. But what's nice about it is it uses what's called tunneling to go through their servers, so you don't have to port forward. Port forwarding to your Raspberry Pi running Octoprint or a Raspberry Pi in general is not a good idea, because they're not very powerful devices, and someone can easily overload them by, you know, just hammering that external access. So what the Spaghetti Detective does is it allows you to still remotely access your printer, but through a secure tunnel into the Pi. So that plugin facilitates that remote connection without having to poke holes through your firewall into your network to get directly to the Pi. So it's really cool. I've been talking with Kenneth for years. When they first started out, they had it just as an access-only plugin, and what it's called the Spaghetti Detective is they actually have an AI system that analyzes the pictures from your printer's camera and can detect if a print is failing and automatically cancel it and send you a notification. So if it sees spaghetti and the print's failing, it will cancel the print if you have it set, or it can just alert you, or do both. It's really freaking cool. So it takes those images, runs it through their AI processing, and can determine if your print is actually failing or not. It's really awesome. So not only is it remote access, but it's also print failure detection. So, you know, let's say you're doing a big print and it failed, and, you know, you're not at home, you can have it just be like, ah, we're going to kill this because it's failed. So let's see here. So yeah, Spaghetti Detective is awesome, especially if you're looking for easy remote access. Now, since we have a ton of printers here, we just use our printers locally. I have no reason to access mine from home. If for some reason I do, I have a VPN server here, but obviously that's a lot more infrastructure to maintain. So if you're wanting easy to access remote control for your printer and you're just, you know, a home user or a small business that's only got a couple machines, check it out. Andrew's asking, I'm using, without recommending a different plate, I'm using a matte finish Flufflex. Every time I clean it with IPA, it seems to leave a film and my plastic won't stick. What should I use? In general, I always have it sitting right here. It's just, this stuff is great. Throw this on the plate and it'll help stick stuff down. This is the Vision nanopolymer. We have this in our shop. Works great on PEI plates, works great on glass, works great on even bare metal. That'll help keep things stuck down. IPA should wipe away cleanly, regardless of what brand of plate you're using, unless that plate is made of something that is getting eaten away by the IPA. Now, if you have genuine PEI on that sheet, alcohol shouldn't do anything to it other than clean it. It should not eat away at it. If you're getting a film, I would try, the simplest thing is go get another bottle of IPA and see if it leaves a film, because maybe you just have a bad bottle of IPA. Maybe it, you know, went bad. I don't know if IPA goes bad. I go through it fast enough where I guess I haven't ever had one sitting around for years, but there really shouldn't be a film left on it. We clean our printer beds off with IPA, and we, you know, unless it's an ABS machine, we don't put anything on it. So if we're printing PLA, we don't use a vision miner typically, but for ABS, we will use a vision miner. But even then, we don't have like a film left. We use 99% purity, so maybe that's it. Let's see here. And there we go, chat chunk. Where are we? Where are we? Are we still on track for the Easy Board next month? I'm trying, man. I'm probably gonna have to say it's gonna be towards the end of the month, but I have confirmation that the retail boards are in production. We're doing a small amount of them, testing them, and then if they pass testing, we're doing the full run. So hopefully I'll have them in about a week and a half so I can start the testing, get one in some of my machines, give one to a couple of the guys that work here so they can test them in their machines. And then if everything passes testing, then we'll do a run. So it'll take about 2 to 3 weeks to do the run of the boards by the time we start the production and then get them to us. So trying to move as quickly as possible, but not Big Tree Tech quickly where we send out stuff that doesn't work. Let's see. Derek Cyrilla, is it correct to say that stepper motors with integrated lead screws are less prone to wobble? Do you recommend those? I would say it really depends on everything else. I mean, if your coupler is straight and everything's installed correctly, I don't see why they'd be more prone to wobble than, you know, lead screw coupled to a stepper motor type of thing. I don't really have an opinion on them. If it works, it works. Me personally, I would much rather not have it integrated with the stepper motor. So if the lead screw gets bent or is bent from the manufacturer, I can just swap the lead screw out instead of having to change the whole motor. You know, but that's just my opinion. You know, at the end of the day, they're both solutions that work as long as you have nothing that's physically damaged. So Donald McKay is saying, I want to use a servo pin for the NeoPixels. My expansion port is used for a TFT display. What's the amperage rating on the 5-volt pin there? You cannot power these off of the 5-volt rail on the Easy Board. We specifically state that, and that's because the Easy Board's 5-volt rail is fused at 0.5 amp. These at full brightness take 0.9 to 1.0 amps. You have to have a separate 5-volt power source. So since you're using the expansion port for a touchscreen, you can use the universal power adapter to give a separate 5-volt source. If you run the NeoPixels off of the 5-volt header on the Easy Board, you're going to blow the fuse. They also will not light as bright. So like I've tested it, what'll happen is you turn them on, they'll be dim, and all of a sudden, because of the thermal fuse, it's a resetting poly fuse, eventually it'll just shut off because it's tripping the fuse because it's pulling too much current. So you can power these off of the IO pin that's off of the servo port, but you just need to supply it with 5-volt. We have, for $5 in our shop, we have a preset adapter. I have one sitting here because I was making a video on it. This is how small they are. I have the ends clipped off of this one because I was using it for testing, but this is how small they are. This is a 5-volt, 1.5 amp preset one. 12 to 24 goes in one end, 5-volt comes out the other. So that's what you're doing if you're already using that expansion port, because the Easy Board, Easy Neo adapter board, that's plug and play, no soldering, no wire splicing, that uses expansion port. So if you're already using that expansion port, you're going to have to then supply your own 5-volt step down, and we have those on the website. I'll post a link to it. It's just I don't know if you ordered the Easy Neo kit already. If you didn't, you can order the universal power adapter along with the kit and save a couple bucks off of the step down. So because we kind of bundle that. So Donald McKay, there's the link for the kit, and you can add on the universal power kit. And if you already have the NeoPixels, you can do that. You can supply your own 5-volt step down, but if you wire it up to someone else's step down and you blow out the pixels or the board, we obviously can't cover that. So Yeah, the 5 volt rail on the easy board we have fused at 0.5 amp, mainly because if people hook the BL Touch up wrong, we want it to trip really quick. The regulator is actually a 3 amp regulator on that board, but we want it to trip quickly because if somebody wires a BL Touch backwards, we want it to trip as quick as possible. If we had a higher rated fuse on there, there's more potential for damage. So that was kind of the logic behind that. The EasyBoard V2 will have an integrated NeoPixel header with its own power to supply it. So, but the EasyBoard V1 is fused at 0.5 amp, so do not use that with there. But yeah, the universal power adapter works with literally any printer that runs on 12 to 24 volts. You give that 5 volt power to your strips and you hook it up to an I/O pin. So it just needs one I/O pin. So if you give these 5 volts, these will not actually light up until you have it hooked up to some sort of controller like your printer or an ESP device or something to tell it on the signal pin to light up the LEDs. So each LED actually has its own separate IC that controls the red, green, and blue channel. And it listens for commands on the signal pin to tell it what to turn on, what brightness, how many channels to light up, whether it's just red, just green, just blue, and the intensity from 0 to 255. So they're pretty cool. NeoPixels are awesome little things. The chip is actually a WS2812 variant. That's what they are. You'll see a ton of them. There's a bunch of different NeoPixel compatible chips out there, but the NeoPixel term comes from Adafruit, I believe. That was their brand name. You know, it's like the Kleenex of those type of LEDs. But there's a lot of other different variants that have chips that work on that same exact protocol. So basically, there's chips that work with the NeoPixel protocol, so you can use them with a bunch of different stuff. So I know Clipper has support for NeoPixels, Duet has support for NeoPixels, Marlin has support for NeoPixels, and a lot of home automation platforms have support for them, like WSLED, ESP Home, Tasmoda, that kind of stuff. So they're pretty cool. Derek is asking, so I placed an order a bit ago for lights. So the EasyPlug Plus, never seen it before. Is it too late to add on shipping? Right now, we don't have an easy way to combine orders to save on shipping. So if you shipped your Easy Neos priority mail, like just example, I don't know if you did or not, but let's say you shipped it with priority mail and you add the EasyPlug Plus, if you ordered it afternoon and the order hasn't shipped and it won't ship till Monday, just place another order, use the cheapest shipping method, and send our support an email saying, hey, this is the order from this is the order from that. Can you combine these two so they both go out in the faster shipping? We are working on trying to get some sort of way to add on to orders in place. There's no automated way we could do it where we could be like, you know, you click a button and be like, hey, I want to add on to this, and then it notifies us to place it on hold and not ship it. And then you could add more stuff on it, figures out if shipping should be charged, you know, more or less kind of thing. It's a very manual thing right now, so we don't do it too often. Let's see. Spawn's asking, what filament worked best in northern Wisconsin winter? Something that would still flex at 0 degrees and warmer. I'm honestly not sure, because I don't even know if just going with something that's really soft will work, because there's materials that are really soft that once they hit a certain temperature, they get the same amount of rigid as other ones. I know Coax, they carry a ton of different flexibles. We don't carry their flexibles, but on their website at coaxllc.com, they have a bunch of them, and their support's really good, just like ours. Send them a question, ask them that, you know, if they're like what they would recommend. And they're in Wisconsin, so they probably would know. They're not far from Appleton. They used to actually be in Appleton. I think they're in Laramie now. I know they just moved. So, let's see here. I'm looking here. Midwest RC, he was asking about the probe points. He's asked, would it also change it for a BL Touch? Yes, in our firmware, the Easy ABL point setting controls all auto bed leveling probe grids. So if you change that in there and you're using a BL Touch for some reason, it will then change it for the BL Touch grid as well. It all uses the same code. There's actually, if you read the directions, I believe it says, yes, it does. Easy ABL Advanced Settings, Easy ABL Points, and Easy ABL Probe Edge are also used for other probes. I was like, I know I had that documented somewhere. 3D Wildcat says he loaded our firmware on the Inter5 Pro. Yours is set to 220. My bet is 235. Creality says that's a 220 printer. The problem is if you set it to 235, even though the bed is 250 or 235 by 235, you start running into the sides of the printer. That's why we have it set to 220. You can do whatever you want on your printer, but if it starts colliding with the frame, set it back to 220. We had it set to 235 by 235 at one point because most of them can address that area, but depending on what hot end mount you have and what auto bed leveling probe you have, or if you're running direct drive or not running direct drive, you collide with the frame if you set it to 235 by 235. The official specs on that printer says 235 by 230 or 220 by 220 for the official XY build volume on that printer. Let's see here. I need to get somebody. Does anybody want to volunteer for tribute to like be the one that aggregates all the questions for me? I need to get somebody to like give me a list so I can like check them off. I actually have Microsoft Teams for our company stuff, so I can literally just have you like assign a task, and I can have my task list up here. Maybe I'll have one of our guys. Maybe I'll force Tor to watch all the streams. And just make tasks so I can go through and ask each question or answer each question. LD is asking about a replacement bed for the Chiron. I do not know. The Chiron has a glass bed on it. I haven't checked mine to see how bad it is, but it wouldn't surprise me. I'm not aware of a replacement. In general, especially if you have to have it custom made, to get a really flat bed, and we're talking just the aluminum plate, no heater, you're looking at a lot of money. You're looking at well over $100 to $150 for a flat piece of aluminum for that size bed. That's a very big bed. Luis is asking, can the Easy Neo be used on Ender 3 Pro? If you have a 422 board or a 427 board, yes. If it has the Melzi board, the Melzi boards do not have enough memory to run all the code to drive the lights, and they also don't have really any extra I/O pins. If you're using like a filament sensor or BL Touch on an 8-bit board, like the V113, 114, 115, you're really limited. I'm not saying it's impossible, but we don't officially recommend using the Easy Neos with a board that has a 1284p processor, which is what those older ones did. But if you have like the 422 board, like these guys here, they will work fine. You just would use the strip itself and then the universal power adapter to give it 5 volts. So, and then we actually have settings in the firmware, and there's also documentation on the help center saying here's all the I/O pins that are free, because this board actually has potentially 4 of them, depending on what you're using for auto bed leveling. You've got 2 on the little BL Touch port here. You also got 1 on the filament sensor port here. I did power. So I looked up the part number that's on the 5-volt regulator for these boards, because there is 5 volt on the BL Touch header. The only thing is, when I turn the LEDs on full brightness, the screen dims, which means I'm pulling a lot of power from the regulator. Even though the regulator, according to the spec sheet, says it's up to 3 amps, I don't think it's actually reliably putting that out. And they do have a fuse, so I'm guessing it's a similar thing where their little fuse there above, it's F2, right above that little gray square on the left side that says 100. I'm assuming they have a fuse at probably right around an amp. So would definitely recommend using the universal adapter if you're using the Easy Neo with the 422, 427 board. So let's see. Oh, chat jumped. ETA on the Easy, did I miss the ETA on the Easy board too? Tin Man says, like I said, I gotta update the product page. It's looking like end of August. We're having to push stuff back, and there's nothing we can do just because stuff is messed up. I don't know if you saw it or heard earlier, but I was told today, my buddy Joe told me that he's hearing that the silicon shortage could last well into Q1 of 2023. So we might have over a year of this absolute bullshit to deal with. I don't understand why these companies are having such a hard time making chips you would think by now, like, everything's been kind of, you know, going back to normal, whatever the hell that means anymore. I don't understand why stuff isn't moving again, you know, and I don't have the capital to spend hundreds of millions of dollars to make my own chip fabrication facility. So we're kind of at the mercy of everybody else to make chips. But nothing I can do other than drink my sadness away. Let's see here. I know someone asked this. It's honestly starting to feel like this silicon shortage is all intentional just to artificially inflate the market. I have no actual fact or reason to support that. That's just what it seems like at this point. I don't know else. I have no idea. Mike V, you want the pics of the box? Oh, he was asking about, yeah, just do that. Send a ticket if you don't mind. Our guys have access to our system to see what went in the box. It's possible it just got left out. If it is, we'll send you out the other one. I'll look into it after the stream, like I said. Swallowpad says, for the easy out, the TH3 dock says M75 for most boards, but not the easy board. Is that oversight? No, they all should have. Well, with Marlin 2.0, that M75 might not be needed anymore. I haven't tested it without the M75, to be completely honest, because all of my starting code has it. It's not going to hurt if you put it in. So basically, the M75 is necessary because if you're printing over over USB, Marlin would not start the print timer on the older versions of Marlin, which is the Easy Out's been around for a while. Marlin 2.0 might auto start that, but what would happen is if you didn't have the M75 to start the print timer and you were printing over USB and the filament ran out, it wouldn't actually then go through the filament change routine and would keep printing as if there was no sensor. So adding the M75 to the start code forces the print timer to start, which it auto does when you would print from SD, but it wouldn't when you're printing over USB. Now, that may not be the case with Marlin 2.0 now, but I actually have not tested it, so I'll have to play with that and try seeing if it does actually work without the M75. But it's one of those things where if you put in your start code, it's not going to hurt anything if it's there and you don't need it. So hopefully that makes sense. I'll look at the yeah, because the Easy Out guide, if you're using the Easy Out with the Easy Board, we just say to follow the Easy Out or the Easy Board installation guides. Ooh, I see a URL that did not get updated. I need to edit that. We just moved our help center and I found a broken link. I thought we checked all these, but apparently not. I'm gonna have to fix that right now. Because I clicked on it and it took me to where's the control boards? I need to grab the link for the Easy Board installation guide. It took me to a 404 error, and I know why, because it's looking at the old URL from when we were on Zendesk, which is a while ago. I'm surprised that didn't get caught. Although we went through probably about 600 links, so I'm not surprised one got overlooked. All right, let me update that Easy Board installation guide. Update. And that should be fixed. Now, I haven't had anybody report issues, so I'm going to assume that Marlin 2.0 doesn't require that to be in the starting code, because if it did, I'd assume we'd be having a million tickets for it. So, but I'll test that. I'm going to write myself a note. M75 needed still? Question mark. All right, it's on my note. A little notepad I keep on here. Well, it's just a folded up piece of paper, but that's how I take my notes. I don't have a fancy notebook or anything. Let's see. Man, we're almost at 6 o'clock already. I only started like 5 minutes late, but shit. All right. Oh, hang on. Wildcat, I don't know. Wildcat asking, do I know anything about a strain gauge? Can I use a Penda? Instead of it, mine fell off the hot inside, beat the crap out inside. Any cubic is out of them. And I don't know what you mean by that question. There's a lot of stuff going on in there. Um, what do I recommend for a easy beginner free or low cost CAD program? Fusion 360 all the way. All the way. And I believe the thing is you can use Fusion 360 even if you're a company, if your yearly revenue is under $100,000. So if you're just starting off, sorry, I was looking at the screen and they're cleaning up stuff in the shop, and like one of my buddies is literally like on the ground pulling stuff out from underneath one of the packing tables. I was like, why is he on the ground? Doc Brown's asking, run the Easy Board, Easy Out, and adding the Easy Neo with the Easy Board adapter, still plug and play, right? Yes. So the Easy Out, if you have an Easy Out with the Easy Board, it goes onto the filament sensor header, so you're no longer using that little adapter board that goes on the LCD. But the Easy Neos with the, I'll just show you guys here. It's really simple. You just literally plug it in and update the firmware. There's no soldering. There's no weird stuff to do. The guy earlier was asking because he's already occupying that header, so that expansion header can be used for like a PT100. What's the word I'm looking for? The thermocouple? The E30 PT100 high temp thermocouple. Or if you're using like a BTT touchscreen, there's a TX and RX pin, but this obviously occupies that header, so you can only use this header for one thing at a time. So when you order this with the Easy Neo kit, you can add this on. It's this board. It comes with a cable here. You literally just make sure the little leg's on there. This is just to keep it from flexing. You plug it onto the 6-pin header, push it on all the way, and then you plug the power cable. This is included, so we actually are grabbing the 24 volt, the 24 volt or 12 volt, whatever your printer runs off of. We're grabbing the higher voltage line from the positive line of the fan header and then passing through the ground here. So if you have a fan connected to fan 2, it would just get unplugged and plugged into here, and then you connect this, and then there we go, plug the other fan in so it passes through the connection, plug your NeoPixels in, and then update your firmware. So there's no soldering, there's no clipping wires if you're using this method. It's literally plug it in, connect this cable, and plug the strip into it. So this has its own dedicated 5 volt step down built onto it that is only for that strip. So it's all plug and play, no crimping or anything. And then we have here, if you are doing a different method, we have the pins labeled here. So if you're like the other guy that was asking earlier, he said he wants to run off the servo header here because he's using these 2 pins that are available on the expansion. You have the filament sensor pin and the servo signal pin, and we have them here. Pin P1_27 is this pin, and then P2_04 is right here on the servo header. So you can hook it up to other stuff if you are using this header. There are a couple other I/O pins available to you on the board here. So, but none of that has any relevance if you're just going to do this where it's a direct plug and play. It's pretty simple. So, adding some extra functionality onto the Easy Board that's already out. So you can see there's a product photo, and then you can actually order. So if you're ordering the strip and you need that adapter, save yourself $1.50, and you can just add the little power module for the Easy Board Lite right here and order it all in one shot and save yourself a couple bucks. So let's see. Move OBS back around. I forgot my hat. I feel naked. We were talking about that. Doc Brown. Louis, is the Easy Board a good upgrade for the Ender 3 Pro? Yes, it is, but we don't have any. Let's see. Superconductor, why make more when you can sell less for more money? Yeah, that's what it seems like with the silicon shortage crap. It's wild because silicon is literally made from sand. You guys need sand? I've got a whole backyard full of it. There's also a lake not far from us. Come get it. I need my chips. Let's see. Penda is a thin probe. Oh, Pinda. P-I-N-D-A. It's not Penda. Anyways. Let's see. David Wilson, did you ever sell the boards I sent back? Yeah, I found homes for the 2 that worked. I have not had time to touch the other ones. Let's see here. We all need chips. Yeah. Well, I'm going to answer one last question here, and that's Mr. Dominic here. He said, I'm going to try printing ABS Plus with an Ender 5 with Tough Tube. I'll be printing under a cardboard box. Should I preheat the inside of the box before printing? Any concerns? I have done the cardboard box method in a pinch. It does work. Don't print with it unattended. It's a cardboard box on top of a fire hazard. I'm only slightly exaggerating. I would not print in a cardboard box if I was not in the room with it. But I probably wouldn't preheat it. You could if you wanted to. The Ender 5 bed will hit 100°C, so you're good there. If you want to preheat it, you could. I wouldn't be overly concerned with it. When I've done the cardboard box method on a printer before I had enclosures, I would start the print, make sure the first layer is going down well, and then throw the box on top of it. I actually would put a little LED strip inside of the box and have a camera hooked up to Octoprint so I can still monitor inside the box, because obviously you can't see through the cardboard. But if you're not printing ABS all the time, printing in a cardboard box is actually a legitimate workaround. Just do not do it just do not do it unattended. Don't do that. And if you find yourself printing, ABS and need an enclosure quite frequently, check out 3D Upfitters or Printed Solid. Those are 2 guys that are in the US that make enclosures. I have enclosures from both of them. They're both good quality enclosures, so I'll give them a shout out. I'm not affiliated with anything. I don't even have affiliate links for them, but I have their products and I use them, so they work. I've got one. This is the 3D Upfitters Ender 5 Plus enclosure behind me, and then we've got a ton of the Printed Solid ones out in our print farm. So, anyways, the bag was underneath other bags, so there's no way I was getting away with that. You can't see him, but he's like, oh, I forgot they're both in here. Okay, let's see. We gotta sit. Sit. Shake. Good girl. Remo. Sit. Shake. Come on. Shake. Good boy. There you go. Doggos got their treats. I hope you guys all have an awesome weekend. Be on the lookout for some emails from us regarding the sale that's going to be kicking off on Monday. I'm going to be getting everything set up for the sale, and we're going to be having specials each day during the week. So kind of have like a little back to school sale. So appreciate everybody that stopped by. I hope you guys have an awesome weekend. As always, happy printing. I will see you guys next week.